Hello and welcome to Bottoms Down Chair Yoga for Everyone. I'm Carol. I'm so glad you've joined us today. Check out the sections on the Bottoms Down YouTube channel homepage. They make it easier to find classes by length of time, by purpose, or by body area. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button. Don't forget it's free and we'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment. In today's practice, we'll explore familiar poses more mindfully. So we're going to try to eke out some new sensations from these movements. You'll need your chair and a block. Now, if you don't have a block, you can substitute a large book, or you can just do the practice without it. So let's get started. So we're going to begin by sitting up nice and tall and moving forward in our seat. So we don't want to be leaning back. Now, if you like that, you can actually place your block on your chair behind your back and use that for some support. So that's always an option. If you're not doing that, then let's just place that block under our chair. So let's place both feet on the floor and we're going to ground those feet to the earth, basically. So thinking about having the 4 pressure points of each foot equally weighted on the floor. Same thing with those sits bones. We have these pointy bones that we sit on, and let's have both of them equally weighted on the chair so we're not leaning one way or the other. Lift your heart, activate your abdominal muscles, lower your shoulders out of your ears, place your hands lightly on the thighs, palms are facing up, close your eyes, and just connect to your heart center, letting go of everything outside of this room. Notice the rhythm of your natural breath, your inhalation and exhalation. Let's go ahead and elongate that breath, inhaling a little more deeply. Exhaling a little more completely. Moving that breath down into the diaphragm. As you inhale, the belly extends. We're filling the lungs from the bottom up. And as you exhale, actively pull the belly button to the spine and push the air up and out of the lungs. Do that a few times. Go ahead and breathe normally. Bring your hands to your heart and set your intentions for today's practice. One more breath here. Bring your hands down to your thighs. Open your eyes. So let's do some shoulder shrugs. So I'm going to shrug those shoulders up into my ears, and then I'm just going to let them drop. Let's do that again. Shrug those shoulders up into the ears and let them drop. One more time. Shrug up and just let them drop. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to drop my right ear to my right shoulder. So feel that range of motion first. Then you're going to place your hand just lightly on the head. I'm not pulling or tugging. It's just the weight of the hand on the head is going to give that neck a little extra stretch. Now we're going to take that opposite hand and we're going to press it out to the other wall. So my wrist is flexed and I'm trying to push through the palm of my hand and touch that wall. One more breath. Let's bring that left hand down first. Take the hand off of the head. Lift that head up. Wow! Does that feel okay? All right, let's do the other side. So first of all, I just want you to get your own range of motion. So we're just letting that ear fall down towards that shoulder. Next, we're going to reach up with the hand and we're just going to lay it on the head. We're not pulling, we're not tugging, we're just letting the weight of that hand give us a little more stretch. And the final piece of it is the opposite arm extends, flex and press through that palm. One more breath. Bring that right hand down first, hand off the head. Go ahead and lift up. Oh my goodness. Final thing is we're going to drop our chin towards the center. All right. Go ahead and reach up with those hands just very gently. You're just going to place them on the back of the head. But again, letting the elbows come down towards the floor is going to give you that little extra stretch. Don't pull or tug, just let gravity help. One more breath and release. Very, very good. Okay, so we're going to come into a cat and a cow. So the first thing we want to do is bring those hands to heart. So remember how I talked about wanting to get a little bit more out of each of these poses, so we're just feeling them a little bit differently, right? So let's lift that throat up. So we're going to open up that throat. So we're just kind of lifting up, crown of the head is long, open up through that throat, just kind of feeling that openness here. We don't normally do that. If you've been to my classes before, just trying to find a new sensation in this pose, all right? Now, we're going to grab the back of the chair, maintain that kind of open throat, squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back, and then maybe lift your gaze a little bit higher. So let's, beautiful cow pose. Now we're going to move into cat. So we're going to place our hands on our thighs, pull that belly button in, round your shoulders, tuck the chin, and look down at your lap. We're going to do that again. Lift up, grab the back of the chair, opening up through the chest, feeling the squeezing of the shoulder blades behind your back, and down we go. Let's do two more with the breath. Inhale into cow, and exhale into cat. Inhale into cow, and exhale into cat. And release. Okay, let's grab a sip of water. So we're going to move into a series of warrior poses. We're going to start in one version seated, and if you want to use your block and we'll be moving into a side angle pose, just kind of set it here so that you have it to where you can grab it. And again, if you don't have the block, it's absolutely fine. So we're going to take our right knee and we're going to open it nice and wide. So we've got that inner thigh stretch there, okay? Now, you're going to bring your hands out to the side, extending, trying to touch the wall with each of your fingertips. Shoulders are down, squeeze the muscles against the bones in your arms. So here's a beautiful warrior two pose, a seated warrior two. So now we're going to take this front palm and we're going to flip it to the ceiling and we're going to reverse our warrior. So you can place this opposite hand on the chair. Give yourself a little support as you lean into that reverse warrior. And then we're going to come back to that warrior two. Now we're going to move into a warrior one. So basically I'm going to bring this hand down, this knee comes down, and I turn and I face this direction with that knee to the floor and my hands are to the ceiling. Okay? So there we are in a beautiful warrior one. We're going to move back to that warrior two. You know what? So I had warrior two here, which is fine. So we'll do that. We'll move it. I'll change that here in just a second and give you another option. So this knee is bent, that foot is on the floor, and then we're going to move to that side angle pose. So we're going to take the fleshy part of this right arm and we're going to let it rest on the fleshy part of the leg. Okay, so let's just do that version for right now, and then we're going to add on. Let's take the hand that's in the air. We're going to extend our side angle pose. So there's that sideways stretching. Feel it? Let's come back up into that warrior two. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in those arms. Really activate and release. Okay, you want to bring that foot forward And let's go ahead and do that same version on the other side, and then we'll add on. Okay, so we're going to take that knee and open it nice and wide. All right. Here we are in a version of Warrior Two pose. So my arms are extended. I'm squeezing the muscles against the bones in those arms. Okay, let's reverse that warrior. Hand comes up towards the ceiling. The opposite hand is on that chair for a little bit of support. We're going to come back to that Warrior Two. Then we're going to let this knee fall down towards the floor. Hands are to the ceiling. That's a version of Warrior One. Back to that Warrior Two. And side angle pose, excuse me. Let's extend that side angle pose. Feeling the sideways stretching, right? One more breath here. Back to side angle pose. Press back into that Warrior Two. And release. Okay. Facing forward. So that's a really good version of that series. The only thing we're going to do is in our Warrior Two now, we're going to extend the leg long. So instead of having the knee bent, we're going to go ahead and take an extension to that leg. Just see how it feels. If it doesn't feel good, then you know you can go ahead and bend that knee to the previous version. Okay? All right. So here we are. We're going to come a little bit further forward in our chair. This knee is going to open. Now, instead of this knee staying facing forward, we're going to extend that leg. So this is another version of Seated Warrior Two. So I'm up on the side of that foot. Do you notice how my foot is not straight and my leg is like this, right? Where my quadricep is up. I'm on the side edge of my foot and my quadricep is out. Okay? So his inner thigh is working. All right. Let's bring those hands up, squeeze the muscles against the bones in the arms. There we are in that beautiful Warrior Two. So one thing I notice in my classes is that people tend to want to be forward, and I really want you to bring the center of the body center. So we want the crown of the head, the neck, and the spine to all be in alignment. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in your arms, really activate that upper body. You feel it? Let's look over those right fingertips. All right, flip that palm up and reverse that warrior. Now maybe this opposite hand comes on the leg instead of the chair. Let's come back to that Warrior Two, and we're going to come to side angle pose. So now the fleshy part of this arm is on the fleshy part of the leg, and here I am in that beautiful side angle pose. Now, if you want a little bit more, what you can do is you can take this hand and bring it down onto the block. So it gives you a little bit deeper into this side angle pose. And then we're going to extend that side angle. So the upper arm comes over where you I call it bicep by ear. You feel that? One more breath here. Let's press back up into that Warrior Two. Let's reverse that warrior one more time. Up we go. Back to Warrior Two. And release, face forward. How are those inner thighs feeling? I know, right? It's a lot. It's all good though. So let's go ahead and move our block to the other side just in case we want to have it there for that use. All right, let's take that knee and open it wide. Now, remember the version. If you can stay right here if you want this version. If you want a little bit more, I'm going to extend this leg out. So this knee stays forward. I'm up on that knife edge of that foot. This quadricep is facing out, not up. Bring those arms out. Looking over those front fingertips. Here we are in a beautiful Warrior Two pose. Let's flip that front palm up and back. We're going to reverse our warrior. You can look up if you want. You can have that hand on that leg. You can have a little hand on the chair. It doesn't matter, right? Your choice. Back to that Warrior Two. We're going to move to that side angle pose. Okay, so remember, if you want a little bit more, maybe your hand comes down onto that block. Keeping that heart open, though, is super important in this side angle pose. So we're not letting our heart fall forward. We're keeping that nice and open. Let's go ahead and extend that. Should feel good. Back to that warrior two. Don't forget to squeeze the muscles against the bones in the arms, right? Even though I don't cue it, that's a sensation, a different sensation you could feel, and release, face forward. Okay, so we have one more version. And this time I'm not going to use my block. I'm going to set my block under my chair out of my way. But you know you can grab it if at any time you want to add, have that little extra support. Okay, here we go. Open it up. Extend that leg long. Moving into that warrior two. I'm going to show you one more thing. If you so, I'm not going to do it, but if you so desire, you can move back in your chair. Right? Just gives you even more stretch here. So that is another version. And you come to warrior two, right? You'd still be doing the same things, but your chair is, got you really opened up through the groin. So it's a choice if you want to do it that way. I'm going to go ahead and cue it this way because I think this is the way most people would want to do it. Okay, so we're going to open and we're going to bring that leg out. I'm on that knife edge of that foot. My arms are extended. Okay, and the only reason I say that is just in my classes. I know what people tend to want to do in my classes, and they tend to prefer this version than the version where they're pushed back in the chair. Okay, let's look over those front fingertips. We're going to flip that palm up and back. I'm looking up at the ceiling. If that feels okay on your neck, if it doesn't, you're going to look out. Back to that warrior two. Now we're going to move to side angle pose. Okay. Now from here, remember last time we had our block here. We put our hand on our block. This time, we're not going to use our block. We're just going to let that hand fall down. So my wrist is down by my ankle. But yet again, here's the thing. Everybody put the hand that's in the air on your waist and lift your heart. So that I want that alignment, that shoulder to arm alignment, not here, right? So we really want to keep that heart open. One more breath. Press back to that warrior two. Let's reverse it. Oh, that feels so good. Back to warrior two. Squeeze and release. Okay, we're almost there. We got one more side. You got it? Here we go. Open it up. Let's bring that knee, extend that leg long. Come into your warrior two. Flip that palm up and back. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose. And if you want to let that hand fall down, you can. One more breath. Press back to that warrior two. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. Very, very good. Let's grab a sip of water. Okay, so if you have your block, if you would grab that please and place it between your feet. And if you don't have a block, don't worry about it, it's fine. So I'm going to move a little bit forward in my chair and I'm going to heel, toe my feet wide. All right? So the first thing I'm going to do is it's a straddle forward fold and then we're going to add a twist. So the first thing is I'm going to just grab a hold of my thighs, hold on, let my heart fall forward, keeping the back flat, feeling the back working. Then I'm going to tuck my chin and I'm just going to roll it up nice and slow, okay? Let's do that one more time. Extend through the spine, belly button to spine, let that heart fall forward. Hands are on those thighs, keeping the back flat. We're going to roll it up. Okay, so that's really good. Let's go ahead and just bring those feet in and let those legs take a little break. Okay, so the add-on here is we're going to go ahead and do that same thing, but we're going to take our head a little bit lower. So either you're going to put your hands on your block or you're going to put your hands on your thighs or your shins, I guess, and hang on there, okay? So here we go. Let's heel toe just a little bit wider. We're going to pull that belly button in. We're going to let that heart fall forward. Now I'm going to place my hands on the block. I'm going to move mine a little bit out and then let that heart fall forward, okay? Back stays flat. One more breath. Go ahead and roll it up. Okay, so now if you want a little bit more, I'm going to turn from this position of my block to this position of my block, okay? And if you're hanging onto your legs, you're just going to walk your hands down a little bit further. So maybe they were higher on the shins, maybe they're going to go lower. Are we ready? Here we go. Extend the spine long. Keep that back flat. Hands are on thighs to start with. Are we ready? The add-on, here it comes. Place the hands on the block or on your shin. Let your your heart fall a little bit further, keeping again the back is still flat. One more breath, and let's go ahead and roll up. Okay, so that's a great version. Either of those. If you want to do it without the block, you can do it without the block. Your hands are going to go on the floor. All right, are we ready? Extend. Forward we go. Are we ready? Put the hands on the floor maybe. Okay, now from here we're going to add a twist. So I want you to move your right hand underneath your face, and your left arm is going to twist open. You're going to put that hand back and kind of replace the other one, and then twist open the other way. Bring those hands back to the floor, pull your belly in, and you're going to roll up nice and slow. Okay, did that feel okay? We're going to do that just one more time. Remember, if you want to keep the block there, keep the block there. If you want to be hanging on here, so if you're hanging on to your legs, what you're doing is instead of twisting, you can twist if you want to, or you can let that elbow come down, or that shoulder, that shoulder come down and up and down and up, okay? So you can do that if you wish. All right, last time. Here we go. Extend through the spine, holding onto those thighs. Let that heart fall forward. Now we're going to reach down and we're going to put our hand on the block. Maybe your hand is on the floor. Your choice. Okay, now we're going to move that left hand right in front of the face. We're going to open up and we're twisting, looking to the right. Bring that hand back down. Replace the hand that's on the block or the floor. Open up and look the other way. Bring that hand down. Pull that belly button to spine. Roll it up. And heel toe those feet back in together. All right, very good. Set your block on the outside of that right leg. Now you're going to take the left leg and you're going to cross it over and you're going to just rest your foot on that block. If you don't have a block, you're just going to be here, okay? But if you have the block, resting that foot on it, sometimes that might feel a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to cross at the wrists. Now, if your left leg is on top, generally you would want the right wrist in front. It's just kind of a balance thing. It's not a big deal. Okay? Now, if you want to, and we're going to come forward. We're going to lean forward. And then we're going to push back up. Okay? Now, if you want a little bit more, you're just going to hug yourself. Same thing. And we're going to let that heart fall forward. And then we're going to lift that heart back up. And let's unravel those arms. Let's unravel the legs and go to the other side. So if you want to have that block there, you're going to cross over and you're going to have that foot resting on that block. Remember, belly tight, crown of the head is long. So now we're going to cross so the right leg is on top, so the left wrist is in front. Extend through the spine. Let that heart fall forward. Seated eagle pose. Let's come up. And then let's hug ourselves. So for me, whichever hand was on top previously, you want the other hand on top. Extend and let that heart come forward. Press back up. and release. Very good. Okay, so hang on to that block. Just set it here for a moment. We're going to come into a crescent lunge, which we've done before, but I'm going to show you how you can use the block and make it a little bit more out of this crescent lunge. So we're going to take that right knee and open it wide. Actually, just kind of set the block out of your way for right now, and then we'll come to it. So let that knee fall down. So now maybe this is where you have felt like you can go, and you just really can't push that foot back behind you. So one idea is to take the block and just let your shin rest on that block. So that gives you an opportunity to push that foot back just a little bit more, but you feel like you've got that leg supported. So you might give that a try and see what you think. Now if you are able to push that foot back behind you, then you probably are going to want to do that version. I just wanted to give you an option. If this one is not available to you, then you can use that block. Okay, let's release it and let's do that one more time. Lifting that heart up, feeling that quadricep stretching, hip flexor is stretching. One more breath. Let's go ahead and face forward. Same leg is going to extend out for pyramid pose. Lengthen through the spine, let that heart fall forward. Keeping the back flat. Go ahead and roll up, and we're going to do that one more time. Extend, belly button to spine, let the heart fall forward. And up we go. Okay, so now we're going to do a seated pigeon. And again, I'm going to show you a way to use the block that can help. If ankle to ankle is really what's available to you, and you haven't been able to move to ankle to knee at all, then this could give you an in-between. So you set your block here, and instead of ankle to ankle, you rest your foot on that block. And it just lifts the leg a little bit more, gives you a little bit more stretch into that hip, right? It's just an option. If you want to use it, go for it. If you don't want to, it's a-okay. You can go ahead and come into our traditional pigeon, extend through the spine, and let that heart fall forward. So those hips are getting a good stretch. I feel it. All right, let's go ahead and roll up. So remember, the name of the game is trying to find some new sensation that you haven't felt before. So maybe that means you press gently on that knee. Maybe that means you put your elbow here and your fingers go, your chin is on those fingers and you press. Right? I don't know. Just play around with it. See if you can find something new and different that you haven't felt before. All right. Let's go ahead and release that, and we're going to go to the other side. Okay. First thing is open up. Feel the inner thigh stretching. Remember, if you want to use that block, you're going to go ahead and let that knee fall down. If you have the extended knee version and that works well for you, go for it. If you don't and you want to try maybe pressing that foot back a little bit, but it's resting on that block, that can give you a new sensation that you haven't normally felt before. Something to try, right? So we're looking over that front knee, our spine is long, head is extended, heart is lifted. One more breath here. All right, let's go ahead and face forward. We're going to extend that foot out in front of us. We're going to lengthen through the spine and let the heart fall forward. So the back of that leg is what is stretching here. A little hamstring stretch. Let's go ahead and roll it up. Can we do that again? Extend and hinge forward. Pyramid pose. And up we go. All right, we're going to do eagles. So I'm going to set that block on the outside of my left leg. Right leg crosses over, and that foot just rests on that block. Just different, right? Okay, so now we're going to cross. Oops, I got it the wrong way. It doesn't matter. It's really not a big deal. All right, extend and let that heart fall forward. Up we go. And then let's do that again. If you want to hug yourself, that's an option, right? You can do that if you want to. Let that heart fall forward. And Up we go. Very good. Okay, go ahead and just set the block aside. Go ahead and sit back in your chair. Hands are resting lightly on your thighs. Lift your palms up to the ceiling. Close your eyes and just breathe. Visualize and act. Visualize yourself starting, visualize yourself persisting, and visualize yourself finishing. Then do what you envision. If you can't get yourself to take action, then get yourself to visualize taking action. Use the power of that vision to push yourself into action. In your vision, see the necessary effort and see the positive outcome of that effort. See that it's worth your time and trouble, and see yourself going ahead with it. Provide yourself with a vision that inspires you. Empower yourself with a vision that fills you with enthusiasm. At any time, in any condition, without any special tools or skills, you can visualize a positive future. You can make that vision compelling enough to get you creating that future. Visualize and then act on your vision. See clearly that you can do it, and you will. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Reach up with the right hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that left hand down towards the floor. Release it. Drop your chin towards your chest. Reach up with the hands. Give the head a gentle tug as you press those elbows down towards the floor. Release it. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Reach up with the left hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that opposite hand down towards the floor. Release it. Look up just slightly. Open your mouth if you want to stretch your jaw. Bring your hands to your heart. Honoring one another, we say Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope to see you next time. Leave me a comment, and I will see you next time.